Hello, hello, hello. This is Chef Metisia tuning in with you today on my social media channels. I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope today. I am trying to join myself so I can check my audio quality. But if you are here, welcome, come on in, drop a comment so I can say hello to you so I can see that you're in the room. The way that I have my studio set up today, the only way I can tell that you're there is if you drop in a comment. So come on in and say hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let me check my sound quality. I have my studio set up today. The only way I can tell that you're there. Perfect. There's a little bit of delay, and that's okay. All right, so welcome. I am Chef Metisia. If this is your first time seeing this face and this jacket, welcome. I'm excited that you found me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming on back in. So I am Chef Metisia. I am your taste bud exciter, and I'm taking you on your journey today of a healthy dinner. So I oftentimes get comments in my DMs and different things like that once I post a video or once I go live, asking me different things about, some different things that you can try instead of the same old normal things for like when you get ready to cook healthy, the same old boring salads, the same old quick and easy. Well, tonight I'm making my dish for my family, and I'm doing something that's simple, easy, and quick. And I thought I'd just come on live and share it with you. So I am actually away from home. So I'm setting up my studio somewhere different today. So I had to check the quality. So I had to do my sound check. Got my little trusty phone, checking my sound check. And you guys, in order to chat with me, because I can see your chats, click on your comments and say hello to me and let me know that you are out there. And I will go ahead and proceed with what we are making today. So let me just check one more channel, make sure my volume is nice and smooth. And it is nice and smooth. Okay, can hear myself. Awesome. All right. Okay, so today what we're cooking is shrimp is going to be our protein. Was craving a little bit of pasta this week, and I think my family was too. So we kind of been watching the cars, but I'm adding it back in today. So I'm super excited. Who doesn't love pasta, right? So today I'm going to use a farfalle pasta, which is going to be a bow tie pasta. So when I show you the setup, I'm going to show you the pasta, but we're going to be using mushrooms and onions and peppers and making everything nice and delicious. So I thought I'd bring you along with me today while I make dinner, and you might learn a new recipe or a new trick or tip that'll help you along your healthy cooking path. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and share my other screen with you so you can see what we are making. Oh, and again, make sure that you share. So if you know somebody that struggles with healthy cooking and looking for a different recipe, make sure you introduce them to my channel. As you see at the top, you can find me as Chef Metisia on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can tell that when we're live, you can come on with us. Make sure that if you are catching this on the replay, that you type #replay in the comments. All right, so I am going to switch cameras. Hi, welcome. All right. So for today, let me show you the setup for what we're going to do. So we're going to use mushrooms. For this one, I chose to use some baby bellas, which is simply portobellas. It's just a smaller version. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how you clean them, because I always get questions about that. Some people take the mushrooms right out of the pack and use them, and you shouldn't do that. And we'll talk about why. So then we also have peppers. I'm going to tell you a little bit about peppers, something you might didn't think about or you might not have known. We're going to add onions. We're going to add parsley, peas, and this is our farfalle pasta, which is our bow tie pasta. I'm going to cook this al dente, so it's only going to take about 10 minutes. I'm only going to I'm not going to overcook it. You have to be careful with that with your pasta. So I'm only going to do it al dente, which is to the tooth, which is all you need, because I'm going to add it back to our main dish and toss it all together. And then, as I told you, we're also going to be having shrimp. So I'm going to, can't forget garlic. Who doesn't love garlic? Yum. All right. So These are going to be the ingredients that I am using today. Make sure everything gets in a shot so that you can see. And of course, you probably didn't know I was coming on live, so I didn't post a grocery list or recipe in case you want to cook along today. This is just going to be a fun scope so you can cook along with me. So I'm going to move these things to the side. One thing when you're in the kitchen, when you're using your cutting board, a lot of people don't really recognize or realize that what you should do is to always have a damp towel underneath it. That way, that'll keep your board from sliding on you and prevent cuts, right? Because the thing is to be safe in the kitchen. Of course, always make sure you start with clean hands. You want to make sure that you wash your hands for 20 seconds under hot water, soapy hands. All right, let's adjust this webcam right here. Awesome sauce. All right, so if you guys drop a comment in, let me know you're there. If you got a question, feel free to ask. But right now, this is just how I'm a chill scope. I'm going to be cutting and cooking some different things to go along with my meal tonight. So one thing with an onion, now I always get this question, is how can I keep my eyes from burning when I peel onions? Well, the simple, easy thing that you can do is to put it in the fridge and let it chill or freeze it. Once you do that, that'll allow you to cut the onion and not have that burning feeling in your eyes. Just lost my phone. All right, so I'm just slicing it in half, taking my skin off of the onion. Always make sure you have a bowl near you. Oops, looks like I'm losing my webcam here. There we go. Now I'm back in focus. I was a little too close to it. So I have my waist here. So I just keep the thing near me just for that. Taking the skin off of my onion. And a lot of people complain about the garlic smell and the onion smell that you can have on your hand. I just use a little lemon juice, and then that gets rid of that. Okay, so now I have my 2 halves. I'm going to use Julienne Strips for this. So I'm just going to simply cut down. Make sure that when you cut that you have your fingers in the claw motion. Make sure that when you use your knife, you want your index finger in the front and your thumb in the back. And you really want to put a nice grip on the handle of your knife, on the butt of the knife right here. This is your strongest tool. A nice sharp knife keeps you from getting cut. A lot of people think that if your knife is sharp, that's a good way to slice yourself, but it's not. The duller the knife, the easier it is to cut yourself. So always make sure that your tool, which is your chef's knife, is nice and sharp. Now I'm going to go through and just make some Julienne strips. I'm making sure that I make a claw. And why am I doing that? Because when the knife hits against me, if my fingers are out, I'm definitely going to slice and cut them. But if I have them in the claw grip, it's going to hit against my knuckles. So I hope that that is a quick tip to help you there. And I really don't like wasting much. So all I did was cut it in half, took the peel off, going down the side, making sure you do the claw grip. So then I have nice strips. Ta-da. Just messing with you. All right, so I'm going to move these off to the side. So remember, chill the onion or put the onion in the freezer. That helps with that burn in your eyes when you get ready to cut the onion. All right, so peppers. I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to cut the pepper. So a lot of people will try to cut the pepper on this nice shiny side. That's a good way for your knife to slip and you not have a grip on it. So what I do, making sure you have the claw grip, cut the back of the pepper off, the top of the pepper, exposing it. Then just go right down the center with your knife, cutting out the interior, okay? So now I haven't lost anything. So this is the inside of my pepper. Cut that in half. Then I'm going to make strips. Now for me, or anyone that does any composting, this will be good for you because what you don't want to do is have a lot of waste. So nothing is of waste if you're using it to compost or put it in any of your soil. If you're gardening and things like that, you can take and use your scraps for that. I try to use as much of it as possible because I try to not have too much waste. Now, with the pepper, a lot of people don't realize that peppers start out green. So all peppers are green. So I often get, like, should I eat these peppers because they're yellow, they're red, they're orange? Yes, because those are your sweet peppers. Now, what has happened is they've not gotten infused, which is what a lot of people think. Oh, my webcam focused again. There we go. So it's not infused with anything. All peppers start out green. What happens is the farmer will harvest it as soon as he starts seeing it turn green and pull those peppers off. That's why these are bitter and they're not as sweet as your colorful peppers. So the longer he lets that pepper sit, it starts to change colors. And that's how you have these. Now, why do these cost more? Because when the farmer has to harvest these, there's more that he has to do. So he had to leave these, he couldn't pull these at the same time, so he had to leave them. So therefore, there's more watering, there's more attention he has to give them, and then he has to pay somebody to come back and harvest it when he's ready to have them shipped out to the grocery stores or to sell at his farm stand or whatever he's going to do. So remember, all peppers start out green, and then the longer that they sit and they harvest, that's when they start changing colors. But these are your sweet ones. So if you go to my channel, or you go to any of my pages, you'll notice that I like to, come on back in focus. You'll notice that I like to use these peppers because I like the colorfulness of it. People eat with their eyes first, and that's always a big thing for me. If I like the way it looks, I'm more apt to try it. So when I teach my kids cooking class, I try to get them to explore all of that and learn something different. So you'll see up there at the top how we have some more summer classes coming up for my kids. And that's so they can learn something new and make memories in the kitchen, because I've been cooking since I was 9. Of course, not by myself, but I was in the kitchen with my mom since I was 9. So I've always had a love and a passion for cooking long before I went to culinary school. Now, of course, we didn't sit down and everything we ate was of healthy nature, but that's where I learned my cooking skills from. And so that's always resonated with me, and I've always loved it. And so now it is one of my businesses, and I love it. And a lot of people think that eating healthy has to be expensive, but it doesn't. If you hit up the farmers markets and some of the farm stands, you'll be surprised at how cheap your price will be. So all I've done is take the interior out. Now, let's get ready to cut these babies up. Remember now, you only cut as fast as you're comfortable with. So when you go back and look at this video, hopefully it's something you can do over the weekend. You have Father's Day coming up on Sunday. Maybe this will be something nice and healthy for Dad if you're trying to get him to eat healthy. If not, it could be just something that you want to try with your family. All right, so now I'm just going to make my claw grip. Hope not to shake the table too bad. I want to go super fast, but I might lose my webcam here, but let's try it anyway. So what are you guys cooking tonight? I can't see your comments if you type it in or hit the comment button and let me know what you're making tonight, or is tonight a takeout night? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but if you cook at home, you save more money and you know what's going in it, right? So I like to cut up as much of it as possible. I'm just cutting it into some nice Julienne strips. The sharper your knife, the easier it is to go through. I sharpen my knives often because this is the main tool that I use. Remember, if you find any value in this and you learn something, make sure you share it out with somebody else. You might be surprised. You might have some friends that actually want to know a little bit more about healthy cooking and some of the vegetables and all that good stuff. With most of my videos that I post, I'll put the ingredients, and sometimes I put links to where I have the recipe so that you can go out and make it at your leisure. So if you have any questions, make sure you drop them in. If not, I will assume that you know all of this and you just rocking it out in your kitchen. And that's all right too. I love to see people posting pictures of food. The reason that I was telling you how you should grip your knife, it makes it a lot easier when you get ready to cut, to keep it going. All right, so I have my nice strips here. I'm going to add them to the side of the bowl that I have my onions in. Keep it all together. Save on dishes. Gotta love it. Okay, I am going to go ahead and cut up the garlic. And then we'll go ahead and put our pasta on. It's not going to cook long. So, you know, with the garlic, you just press the back of your knife on it, exposing the garlic, clove, taking the skin off. Who doesn't love garlic? I love the way it smells, especially in combination with onions or shallots. Thank you for joining and tuning in. All right, so there's some of this. And I'm just going to cut the ends of it off. And I'm going to cut this down nice and easy into a nice mince, which is simply just a small cut, very, very small. You know, when you cook garlic, it's very easy to burn, so you have to watch it to make sure you don't burn it. Okay. Just going to add this in here. Now let me go wash my hands, and I'm going to go ahead and drop my pasta. Then that way, that can go ahead and be cooking. I always want to make sure you stay clean in the kitchen. So I have my water at a boil. Welcome, come on into the room. I am just walking on the other side for a second to make sure that I salted my water. You only get one chance to get your pasta right when you're cooking it. So you want to make sure that you salt it in the very beginning. Let's get a little bit of this off. Okay, so I make sure everything is in my waste bowl, making it easy to clean up. All right, so next up is going to be my mushrooms. So when I first started the scope, remember I was saying some people just take their mushrooms and use them just straight out of the pack. That's not the way to go with them. What you need to do is make sure when you take them out of the pack, what's going to happen, and I don't want to put it on the cutting board, but you'll see that it is full of like dirt, and it's just where it's been in the soil. What they're doing is they're picking up, packing it, and sending it on. They're not cleaning them. So you don't want to leave these sitting in water, because that will keep the water inside of the mushroom and you'll make it all nice and soggy. What you want to do is you can rinse it under cold water. Then you'll want to take a napkin or a towel. And when you dry it off, you want to make sure that you get all of the dirt off. So you can do it with a wet towel or a wet cloth, or you can rinse it under cold water. Then if you want to remove the skin, like so, then you do that, making sure that you don't have any dirt. No one wants to eat dirt, so you have to make sure your mushrooms are clean. So I've already gone through that process with my other mushrooms, but I saved some to the side because I wanted you to see that. Then all I do is I take the stem of it out. Then you'll want to cut the hard wood part of it off, which is this end here. So you're just going to cut just a pinch, and then you can still use the rest of it, as well as cut and use the rest of the mushroom. But I wanted to show you that because some people will say, well, my mushrooms aren't clean, so I'm just going to, sit them in the water and let them soak. That's what you shouldn't do. You're putting too much moisture in it, because mushrooms already have enough moisture. So as you see with these, I've already cleaned and dried them. Like I said, they're going to hold some moisture anyway. So I didn't submerge them, but I did clean them under cold water. Now I'm going to still use the claw grip for everything. And I'm just going to go down the side and cut some of these mushrooms up. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you're looking at this on a replay and you have a question, let me know, and I'll be sure to respond back to you to answer your question. So I'm going to put a few more up here. I have my pasta going. I'm watching my timer to make sure that I'm not going over time. I feel like I want to have some music on, but I don't want to lose my sound up here. So I'm just going to let things be as they are. Hoping you guys are having a fabulous day. I am nearing the evening, so it's time to eat. As I said, these are baby Bellas is how you're going to see them in the grocery store, but that's nothing more than a version of the portobellas. Now with the portobellas, I use them mostly when I'm making like vegetarian dishes for my clients, or a vegan dish, and then that replaces the meat, because mushrooms have that thick meaty texture, and so you can get away with that when you're trying to transition in your diet. So that's mostly what I use that for. I also use these if I'm making stuffed mushrooms, or you can use the white mushrooms if you choose, but just make sure you clean them really good and take the stem out. You can also stuff the big portobellas too. Like I'll put quinoa, different things like that in it. You should try that if you haven't. I think I'm getting too close to my webcam. They keep focusing out on me. Hopefully she'll come back. So we're going to have quite a few mushrooms. I'm not going to sing. I promise you I can't sing, except to myself. Like when you're in the shower and you think you're like the best and you should go on some show. Maybe that show should be like maybe karaoke for me, because I can't sing. I wish I could. Some people have that as a beautiful talent. And I like to sing, but I just don't let anybody hear me sing because I know it doesn't sound good. You know what you're good at and you know what you're not. That's not one of my strong suits. So if I have any singers out there, hey, let me know. Maybe I'll come through your live and listen to you sing. All right, so I'm going to put my mushrooms in here. All right, let me swap out. Let me go and clean my knife, switch cutting boards. Always remember to put something wet underneath so that it will not slide. And let me check on my pasta. Coming along really nice. I'm about to turn it off. Beautiful. All right. Swapping cutting boards. Just put that right there. Let me wash my hands again and my knife. Always staying clean in the kitchen. All right. Okay, the last thing that I want to cut before I get ready to saute is going to be my parsley. So this is my curly parsley. You can get it Italian version or curly. This is mostly going to be for presentation. And I'm just going to give these a quick cut. Always remember to have fun in the kitchen. Put you on some music, dance, whatever makes you happy. This is basically going to be for garnish, and I'm going to add a little bit in when we get ready to saute it. And again, this is my curly pasta. If you're catching this on the replay, let me know if you end up going back to make this dish and how you like it. Don't need very much more. All right. Just going to cut it just a little bit. Okay, awesome. All right, so now I'm going to move this to the side. Okay, one thing that I like to do with my olive oil, I'm going to turn this on, is I like to put it in a squeeze bottle. That allows me to control how much of it I'm using. Okay, so squeeze bottles, you can find these anywhere, a Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Walmart, however you want to get them in a bundle. You can get them off Amazon if you're not going into stores right now and shopping. And that's how I control how much olive oil that I use. All right, so let me turn my pasta off and drain it real quick. All right, so now let's get ready to saute off the things that we have already cut. So remember, we did mushrooms, and these are my baby bellas. Yum. All right, and then we cut parsley mostly for looks, but then we have our peppers and onions. And I think I'm gonna make a quick little cream sauce, but I'm not gonna put any flour to it. So if I had put flour to it, it would be a bechamel, right? And then I would also use clarified butter, which is nothing more than butter that you have melted and you've taken the milk solids out, which is that residue that sits on the top when you melt butter. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my pan nice and hot. Let's turn up the volume. All right. And I'm getting rid of my waste. The less you have in front of you makes your cleanup a lot quicker. All right, so let's keep moving. My pan's nice and hot. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my onions in first. Let them start sweating a little bit. The more oil you have in the pan, they'll sweat, meaning they won't caramelize, which is turning a little dark and brown. So it's up to you if you like your onions to be a little more darker, then you use a little less olive oil. If you want them just soft and a little translucent, then you add a little more oil, but you don't want to oversaturate it. All right, let's see if I can just bring the pan down a little bit. There we go. Let's shift this. There we go. Add a little more oil. After those soften a little bit, I always mix my salt and pepper together. So I'm going to drop some of that in there. You got to have a little seasoning and flavor. You can add crushed red peppers to it if you like. It's totally up to you and your choice. Now I'm going to start adding some of my peppers to it. Let that cook down. Let's just add all of it. All right, awesome sauce. And add a little bit more from the top. And let that cook. Turn the heat up. All right, so I am bringing my pasta back over. So let's see if I can not fog up the webcam, but my pasta came out nice. And this is the farfalle pasta, which is the bow tie. So we're going to be adding that back in. So I think here we go. Start back up. All right, it had stopped cooking for some reason. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna let that cook down some. Then the only other thing that I'm going to add is the mushrooms. Then when I make my quick sauce, I'm going to put just a little bit of butter, and I'm going to put the garlic, and I'm going to add a little bit of almond milk. I'm not going to use any flour. Now, if I wanted to make it a little thicker, of course, I would use the flour to it, but then I would be turning it more into a bechamel sauce. And I'm just trying to make a quick cream sauce. So I'm not trying to make anything too heavy or too creamy. So I'm going to let these cook down. I love the way these smell. So as that batch starts cooking down some, I'll add the mushrooms. One thing I've noticed is that you get kids in the kitchen with you, and they're more apt to try it because they help make it. So when I teach my kids cooking class, that's one thing that I'm always impressed with, is I'll let the parent be the sous chef, which is the assistant, and allow the kids to be the chef for the day. And that way they get to experience it firsthand. Of course, nothing dangerous like cutting or anything like that, depending on how old they are. Now, my teen classes, of course, you want them to learn how to operate a knife because they're going to be going off to college. They're going to be moving out of your house. They're going to be doing their own thing. So, of course, their class is a little bit different. We go over knife safety and all that kind of good stuff. But in the beginning, you don't want to freak your kid out and have them doing way too much, right? That smells amazing. If I wasn't making a quick cream sauce, then I would add the garlic on top of this. But since I am, I won't. Now, peas, they have their own moisture and it doesn't take very long. So I'm not going to add these to the very end. So I kind of wish this had like a smell-o-vision. These vegetables look amazing. Regardless of where I am, I always have my stuff with me, so I can always go live and like, hey, I'm cooking somewhere different today, but I wanted to show you. You never know, someone may be interested in trying something a little bit healthy or a little bit different. Hey, thanks for thanks T. I wish it kind of had smell-o-vision, and that way you'd be able to see it. Smell it and see it. So it's something quick and easy. It's something colorful because people eat with their eyes first. If you're trying to be healthy, because if you're like most of us, you kind of been shut in from the quarantine and you kind of been eating whatever you can get your hands on. So like every 10 minutes you feel like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, but you're nice. Your mind playing tricks on you. But if you keep things like this in the kitchen, then that way all you'll have to do is go in there, cut it up, eat it. Then you haven't done anything too bad like eating chips and cookies and all this other stuff that you're probably making or feel like you have to make. So this is cooking out very nice. So I'm going to take these out because now I want to cook off my shrimp by itself. And then I'm going to blend everything back together again. And because now I'm left, ooh, that smells amazing. So now I'm left with this wonderful seasoning in the bottom of my pan. This amazing fond in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to cook my shrimp in it. Brianna, can you pass me the shrimp right here, please? Can you reach right there and pass me that? And come back this way with it. Like to get every little bit up. All right, so now I have my shrimp. I peeled and deveined these myself. I always like to use fresh shrimp. Now the kids love shrimp. So I'll let these cook down into that. I don't want to overcrowd them, so I'm not going to put them all in at one time. It's a little bit more. These smell amazing. Now remember, you can use totally anything that you want. You can use chicken if you want to. You cannot use chicken. You can just let the veggies speak for themselves and do the pasta. You don't have to do the pasta. You know, it's kind of like up to you. I'm just adding a little bit of my salt and pepper mix to that. You can use crushed pepper if you want, but I don't want to make it too spicy because there are going to be a few kids eating this too. So I thought I'd do something a little different today for them. Smells amazing. We need smell-o-vision. Hey, maybe we can petition these social media accounts, our Facebook and Instagram, and see what they can do about that since they're making all these kind of changes, right? Put these a little more. Shrimp don't take very long to cook, so you got to keep an eye on them once they start curling up. So I'm gonna let that cook down just a couple more minutes. Then I'm gonna change that out, make me a little cream sauce real quick. Very simple cream sauce. I don't have any Parmesan or Reggiano cheese or anything. I wish I did, and I would add that to it too. But we're gonna rock with what we have. It's all about budgeting too. I try to not spend too much money grocery shopping because you can go crazy. And wherever you are, I'm sure that there's a farmer's market that is open tomorrow. You might want to hit them up, or a farm stand where they have fruits and veggies. You can get all you want, or go down to the farm. Some of them will allow you to pick from right there, or they'll set you up like on a monthly system where they deliver it to you. I think that's super awesome when they do that, and it's super affordable. And you know where your food comes from. You get to talk to the farmer, walk around, see what kind of, learn what kind of soil they're using, how often they harvest it, all that good stuff. All right, so these are ready. Let me go ahead and take these out. And since everything is going right back in here together, I won't have to switch my pan. Oh, this smells amazing. I cannot wait to eat. So I'm going to add my garlic right on top. Just a little bit more. That's the pinch. my pan to burn, so I add just a little bit of butter to it. And my garlic to the pan. It's just going to be a real quick little creamy sauce. I'm not adding any flour to it, so I'm not making a bechamel or anything today. I just want my cream sauce to have a little flavor to it. It's not going to be super, super thick or super lot of it. I just wanted enough to kind of coat my pasta. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm going to add me a little bit of almond milk. Always watch your garlic. You don't want it to start burning. Just want to give it a nice sauce. Amazing. So now I'm just going to blend everything together, plate it, and enjoy. Remember, all of this goes in here together, so I'm fine with all of the fond bits and different things like that that are in here. More added flavor. All right, so I'm going to start adding some of my peppers and onions back. Let's not forget the pasta that we had, so I'm going to add that back. Well, not add it back, but add it to it. Let's start with a little bit first. Start spooning it over. Oversaturate it with the pasta where we can't get anything else in. This is where I'm going to add my peas. I didn't want them to get soggy, so I didn't add them in the beginning. Look how colorful that looks. Let's go ahead and blend this in. Ooh, that looks good. Smells amazing. You can also use heavy cream. You don't have to use almond milk, but I was trying to keep it as healthy as possible today, and I keep almond milk, tons of it. I love almond milk. For some reason, I can't really digest whole milk, and I don't like skim milk, so it is what it is. All right, so now I'm gonna add shrimp back to it. Amazing. Let me get a picture with my phone. Because y'all know I love pictures of food, right? Anybody gonna sing? Maybe, maybe not. I'll roll for more shrimp right here. Look how colorful that is. So you don't need very much pasta. I think I did maybe a cup, and not even a half, but a cup and a little bit over that. Now I'm just letting it sit in the cream sauce, cook down some. I'm not trying to overcook it because remember, I've already cooked my shrimp. I've already cooked the pasta and everything. I'm just letting it blend and marry together all of the flavors. Amazing. So I hope you all enjoyed today's session. Maybe I'll come on a little more as I cook something for myself and or my family. Now I want to add a little bit of our parsley to it. Can't forget that. Blend that in. A little more green. Blend that in. Beautiful, beautiful. Now remember, you do not have to do the pasta, but if you're curious and you want to try it, this is the farfalle pasta, which is just one of the simple bow ties. You can go to the store and look for bow tie. That's fine. You can do quinoa as your base. You can do rice as your base, whatever you choose. This is what I wanted tonight. And one other person in my family. So then I'm like, hey, why don't you just make a whole bunch and let everybody have some? So that's what I did. Now, it is completely done. I'm going to turn off the heat. I am going to plate it now. Nolan, give me this right here, please. My son like blocks me out because he's like, what'd you call me? All right, so I am going to plate this and show you all how amazing and colorful it looks. Once you add all of the peppers to it. And I'm going to add a little bit of parsley, just a little bit. And then I like to clean up my plate. All right. I'm going to slide this down. Okay. Just so you all can see what I'm doing here. So when you go to my page, you'll see that I always have pictures like this, and that's because I love presenting and plating. And if you're making this, let's say you're making this Sunday for your dad for Father's Day, you always want to make sure you don't just put any old thing down. You want to show him that you put love in it, that you took the time to make sure he had a wonderful experience, and you want to really showcase your work, that you enjoy what you're doing and that you put some love in it. So this is today's dish. It is our shrimp and veggie mix with bow tie pasta. And I hope that you all enjoyed it. And let me flip this back around real quick. Let me switch cameras. Let's see here. Awesome sauce. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it today. If you did, wait, it says I have an incoming message. You know you're welcome anytime to come and get a plate. Thank you so much for chiming in to let me know my comments were working. So I have kind of changed my background and my scenes as I'm working on my production for my cooking show. And so I wanted to make sure that all the components work. So thank you so much for putting in the comments to let me know that they work. I can see you all like over on Periscope and over on my other page on Facebook. And I'm happy to see you guys tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed today. And if you're catching this on the replay, let me know what you might have learned that I might have mentioned today, or that you want to try this recipe, and I'll send it over to you in case you don't want to follow the video. Some people learn differently. Some of them look at the video and like, oh, I got it. And some of them actually need a recipe, and that's not a problem. Since I came live and put this up here today, I can certainly send you the link to the recipe if you want it. So this has been Chef Metisia tuning in live for healthy cooking. I am your taste bud exciter today, so make sure that you go and have some fun in the kitchen and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in.